Hi, welcome. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Today we're interviewing the owner and founder of Metro Food Rescue, named Chad Techner. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me, Max.
You're welcome. Glad you could join. Before we begin the interview, I would be trying to interview small business owners all this week. What is your schedule like?
So it changes from day to day. So not only do I, run the nonprofit Metro Food Rescue, I have little kids as well. So my schedule is crazy and chaotic all the time. I just got home from work 20 minutes ago. My kids at the bus stop came to do this interview with you. Dinner, hang out with them for a bit, and I've got a little bit of work that I'm hoping to get done after they go to bed.
What are some facts about food waste?
So in this country, we waste 40% of the food that's produced, which is equivalent to 133 billion pounds of food every year. It's kind of a mind-blowing amount, and it's really hard to wrap your head around. But it's also, to give you an idea, it's the number one thing that consumers or like individuals put into the landfill. So over 24% of what we put into the landfill is food waste.
What inspired you to create your business?
So there were a couple things that we saw. My family owns Hoffman, and we would get a lot of calls, Shiva trays that were unopened, untouched, that they wanted to donate, and we didn't have a good answer for them. As well as I saw different events in catering, and there was a lot of waste there. Since starting it, we've found lots of avenues of food waste to pick up from, and are working more in the events and catering space all the time. But just today the truck I picked up around 12 to 13,000 pounds of food, and the van was filled three times, and probably picked up 4 and 5,000 pounds of food. And so it's from all sorts of different sources. We went to a logistics company, a big box store, the founder's brewery that just closed downtown. We lost 2 days rescuing all of the food from there, so we have pulled two full van loads out and take different partners who are able to use the amazing food to feed that they serve, and some of our neighbors in need.
Since you started Metro Food Rescue, what have been the results? How many people have you gotten food to that?
So currently, we pick up from 27 different partners, and it's everything, like I was saying, from big box logistics companies, bread warehouses, farmers markets. And we also do a lot where we pick up from one pantry and take another. If they have too much of one thing, we'll take it to someone who can use it. On the distribution side, there's 56 different feeding partners. They're mostly soup kitchens and food pantry, and together, all of them, so we're helping supplement the food needs of 20,000 individuals or in families in our area, and that number is growing. The time where we take on a new, 1 to 3 food partners every week or every month. So it's a constantly evolving list.
Who inspired you to start your business or create your business?
So there's been a lot of amazing people that help and inspire me, but honestly, a lot of it was just like so disgusted with the situation, and I wake up in the middle of the night and just thinking about it, it really bothered me to the point that I think I had to do something. I never expected it to be a large full-time operation, with the staff and what it has become. I expected it to be, a side thing that I could feel good, doing some contribution with. The folks at His Own Detroit, now Adama, were just instrumental in helping me start this up. We incubated under them for a year, and they really helped to help me figure out the process.
And
They set me up for success once we started on our.
is that why you started your business?
I started it because I couldn't just by watching all of the food be wasted. Well, I knew there were so many people who needed food. I mean, we currently work with a couple of partners. I'm trying to get in with some of the stadiums where America Park, they share a parking lot with one of partner is the Noah Project, who feeds lunch to 300 people every day. And on the other parking lot, Comerica Park is throwing away, I'm sure, tons more food than they need to feed 300 people every single day. And yet somehow we can't connect these two. And so we're trying to be the bridge to connect it. And we're trying to say, hey, we can take the excess recoverable food from over and put it to good use over here, feeding, those people that need it.
When did you start Metro Food Rescue?
So we started in March of 2020 before the pandemic. We picked up from an event at the JCC, and then all events ended. And like I was saying, the folks at Hazone or Adama, their educational thing, was put on hold as well. And so they focused their on helping with the food rescue and building it up to the point where we were independent in April of 21. And in the last almost, just over 3 years, we've rescued nearly 4 million pounds of food, which is enough to feed 3.5 million meals to our neighbors.
Where did this business start?
So it started out of a conversation that I had with the executive director at Zone, and we just started picking food. The first rescue was done in my car, Subaru Outback. It was filled to the brim from the one rescue. Soon they got a grant at Hazone or Adama, got a grant to rent a high roof van, and it's grown from there. We don't actually have a physical location. So currently we have 2 box trucks and a high roof van. And that's really where all of the work happens is, in the truck and then, on the phone and meeting with.
What was the goal or is the goal of Metro Food Rescue?
So the goal of Metro Food Rescue is to help waste less and feed more. It's just, a crazy dichotomy that we waste so much while so many people need it. We could probably waste 25% of the food in this country. And if we just got the rest of it to the right place at the right time, everyone could, and we could still waste plenty of food. So we don't have to be really good at this. We just have to be a little bit better and be a bit better about, figuring out where to go. And we can, this is an endlessly solvable problem that as a society, we have not yet solved.
How long did it take before Metro Food Rescue became a big word?
I'm not sure we are a big word yet. Some people know of us. We're making an incredible impact, but our reach is still fairly small in terms of the folks that know about us. We've gotten really good success with the media. So we've had 6 different TV stories locally. We've had 2 different magazine articles written locally. And then the CBS Evening News came out and did a ride-along day end of last year. And we're waiting. Hopefully that'll be airing, at some point.
How can people contact you if they would like to get involved, help you, give you a location?
Yeah, so through our website, metrofoodrescue.com, they can find all the information. If they are, someone distributing food who's looking for more food, we'd be happy to help. If they're, someone who's looking to volunteer, we have opportunities available. And obviously, donations are the, main thing that's needed. We have to put gas in the truck. There's maintenance. Obviously, the drivers get paid, as they should. And so, we feel like we offer a large impact for our donations, where for every dollar that's donated, we're able to provide 9 meals for our neighbors, because we don't pay for the food we pick up and we don't charge our partners for dropping it off. We just fundraise for our logistics.
You said in the beginning of the interview that you work with 27 other companies to bring food to for them to distribute. Could you name all 27 companies?
So those are the places we pick up from. And that's, folks like we pick up from New York Bagel, and there's a bunch of independent grocery stores, Greenfield Market, Zerbo's, There's a Sam's Club we picked up from a Costco, a couple Targets. It just kind of runs the gamut. A few farmers markets. There's been some. So anyone that's recoverable food, we're happy to go pick it up from. Tomorrow, a bunch of bread from the Avalon Bakery. We do a lot of work with the Bimbo line of bakeries. Pick up about 9,000 loaves of bread every week and distribute those. And there's like 54 different partners that are all over the city, mostly in Oakland, Wayne County, and some in Macomb. Um, that are really integral to this, and we couldn't do the work without them. They're the ones who do the hard work of distributing the food, to the people. And it's a great partnership where we're able to supplement the great work that they're already doing.
How old is your business?
So we've been independent for 2 years.
What made you want to stay a small business, or do you have plans to become a chain?
So we would never to have a chain. Love to help others to do the same. And so, the way we look at it is a hyper local business model. The Tri-County area is about as big as I believe that we should be looking to handle. And we don't want to have a truck in Lansing, but I want to help a nonprofit in Lansing start up a food or expand what they're doing in order to grow their impact. And so that's kind of the one of the long-term growth strategies of where we feel like we can grow impact. And the other one is partnered with Hospitality House, who's one of the larger food pantries in Oakland County, and created the Small Pantry Support Network. So there's a vast difference between the quality and the amount of food that different places are able to, whether or not they're able to access the free USA food that the government gives away. But with food comes government bureaucracy and paperwork, and the small pantries don't want to deal with all of that. The large agencies that are distributing it don't have the logistical ability to send it to every place that's serving 50 families. But these neighborhood pantries are really integral and are the backbone of the neighborhood. And most of the people going there aren't going to 5 miles to the one that has more food. And so created a program where Hospitality House does the government paperwork, and we do the logistics, and we're able to get this to different partners. There are 3 current partners in the network. We just launched it last year, and we're hoping to grow that up quite a bit over the next couple of years into something that has substantial and is able to really bulk up the work that these community pantries are doing in a way that they're able to access now.
When you were at Temple Sure Shalom a couple months ago for the Madrakim program, you had us make a soup. What are other foods that you make and distribute?
So the volunteer soup kits have been really great, and we're actually working on expanding the program now. We really think it's a great way for families to have good, easy, nutritious meal that they can make quickly at home. And so I'm working with someone who I've met who's a nutritionist and has worked for the National Institute of Health or the National Health Foundation or whatever they call it over in the UK. And she's helping me to create a more expansive meal kit program where we're going to be piloting some different things. She also brought up the fact that the soup kit is a very American way to deal with these ingredients. And we take the same rice and lentils, put them in 2 different bags. So the rice was cooked separately, change the proportions, add different spices, and it could be an Indian curry. It could be, a Middle Eastern lentil dish. And so, depending on some slight variations, we could really do some great things with creating delicious, culturally appropriate food for some of our different partners, as well as educating those who don't really cook this on how easy and inexpensive it would be. And so, the soup kits that we make, it really only costs $2 to $3 to feed a family of 4. And so it's less expensive, it's faster, it's tastier and it's more nutritious driving to McDonald's and picking up food there. And so just teaching people to get back to the roots with of the ways that we used to cook could have a great impact, and would be a fun way to teach people about different cultures' food.
For each of the recipes, could you tell us how to make them and what we have to do to cook them?
So there's quite a few. What we've done so far is a split pea and lentil soup with rice. And that one is split peas, lentils, rice, and a bunch of different spices. You just simmer that in a pot with 4 cups of water for 30 to 40 minutes. It's soft. And then that's ready to go. There's a black bean and a 3-bean soup. They take a little bit longer to cook. So they need 6 cups of water, and it takes about an hour to an hour and a half for those beans to break down. The other would be more of, if we were doing like an Indian lentil curry, it would be cook the rice in one pan, cook the lentils with some water and the spices in another pan. And when the lentils are soft, serve them on top of the rice. And so the idea is to make simple, easy, replicatable meals that people can, make at home quickly and easily.
Do you do consulting?
We are happy to, help anyone who would feel like helpful. I met with a group who have a food rescue in Wichita, Kansas, and we spent a day, going around with them, talking to them about what we do, and helping them with some of their fundraising issues and work through that. Today, I actually did a ride along with some great folks at Scrap Soil. So they're a company who's a compost nonprofit with the goal of picking up from individuals in some of the areas of Detroit and creating a home residential composting program, as well as an education piece. And we're happy to share what we do and help out whoever thinks it would be helpful. We've worked with a group of kids in Virginia Beach, Virginia, on a project they were doing, as well as we partnered with the teachers at West Maple Elementary to help with the empathy project this year. We're always looking for more opportunities to grow our impact.
Who is on your crew?
So we 5 paid staff. There's 5 board members, and there's a whole lot of people who volunteer their time in different ways. And so, this mostly consists of there are 2 who mostly drive. The other 2 do some other stuff. One of them, helps with tech stuff in different projects, and the other one helps with phasing. I tend to do a bit of everything. The different board members help in different ways. They're all amazing and super helpful. And then we've gotten great help from different people where there's someone who's volunteered her time to be our fundraising consultant who helps me out whenever we have questions, or someone I graduated with has done our graphics work. So when the brochure, he was to volunteer his time to do it because that's what he's an expert in. And so we've been really fortunate. So different experts in different fields pop up when we need them to help.
How can people find your business?
So it's really mostly on the web. Other than that, they can, see our driving around town, picking up and dropping off food. I guess the to see us is to follow us on social media. We do a lot of postings that we're doing, some good tips on reducing food waste. And so if you want to, see what we're doing, you can connect with us on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or Twitter.
What is the hardest part about being a small business owner?
Getting it all done. There's so much all the time, and it's never all done. And the hardest thing is figuring out the right things to prioritize at the right time.
What is the easiest part about being a small business owner?
I find the easiest part about the food rescue is just talking to people about the food rescue. I love doing this. I'm endlessly passionate about it on all sides. I feel like it's, unconscionable the situation that we live in, wasting food as we do while people, are in need. It'd be one thing if everyone had enough and we were still wasting food, but to have both going at the same time is just something that shouldn't happen. And it's so easy to, want to help. And so I feel endlessly blessed and lucky that able to do this and am able to, be transitioning to doing it as a full-time job.
What is your favorite part about being a small business owner?
I think my favorite part is driving the trucks. So this morning, we took out one of the box trucks from scrap soil and picked up around 12,000 pounds of food and delivered it to agency. There's families tomorrow at Colamy that will all get food, and between us and the support network partnership with Hospitality House, we deliver 100% of the food. And so it's really rewarding to see all of this food, or to pick up 8 pallets from a distributor that would be going to waste otherwise. And I mean, it was beautiful lettuce and cauliflower that was, pallets of organic lettuce and cauliflower that we're able to distribute to folks who otherwise wouldn't have access to it.
What is your least favorite part about being a small business owner?
Paperwork. Doing the paperwork is the thing that I end up pushing off. And yeah, it's my least favorite part. I need to find someone to help me with it.
Did you have anxiety when creating your business?
Absolutely. It's been definitely a difficult and interesting process. Although it's evolved so much, I never really, when I started, expected it to be what it is now. I feel like it would have been a lot. I would have had a lot more anxiety if I would have realized what was about to happen. But it kind of grew slowly and organically, and it's been really affirming. Where truly from day one, anytime we've needed something, whether it was an individual help us, Yadez donated a truck to us early on that was endlessly helpful, or we were looking for a van, an amazing deal from Gesher Human Services on a van that they were selling off of their fleet. So I feel like it's been amazing, and at this just like believe in it enough that I know how I'm gonna do the next thing. I just working and know it's gonna happen because it's happened enough that you know that I know believe, and we'll figure it out as it comes. And there's so many people who want this project that that I believe will make it work.
What do you have anxiety with about your job currently?
I'm fundraising, making sure that we're gonna have enough money to continue and to grow. We have some ambitious growth goals, and to do that, we need to grow our fundraising at a similar pace. I feel like we've been doing the right things and are moving in the right direction. A lot of promising grant applications out there, and hopefully the grant making agencies will be said, and one way or another, I believe we'll find a way to get it done. But that is the anxiety, and that's the bottleneck.
What are some of those growth goals?
So we want to replace our old truck with a new one and expand our bread rescue from 9,000 loaves a week to 21,000 loaves a week, which would allow us to rescue over 1 million loaves a year. We also want to grow the small pantry support network from the 3 partners that are currently feeding about 350 families. We want to grow that to 10 to 12 agencies that are feeding 1,000 families. We want to grow the catering and events rescues with the large scale catering. And we just signed on Huntington Place. We're working on with a plan for the M1 racetrack, and we'd like to stadiums and other feeders like casinos and hotels on board with it.
How do you deal with anxiety when you have it?
That is a great question, Max.
Thank you.
It's honestly, it's something that I've always struggled with a little bit. Yeah, it's I just try through it, and I take deep breaths and focus on what I can control. But it is not easy, and often it's hard and stressful. And then it's just focusing on the I'm doing it. I am endlessly lucky. Like, grew up endlessly lucky. My kids are, endlessly lucky. We live a great life. We have a great house. And in the end, I'm getting to do a job I love, making an impact. And so, trying to keep that in perspective is helpful. And it's not easy.
What is your advice to others on how they can deal with anxiety?
I think for everyone, it's different. And different levels of anxiety, it's different. I've certainly, struggled with it on one level, but I've been on the board of, Kadima, now Gesher, for over 10 years. And so, you know, depending on the level of anxiety, the needs would be different. And I would say, like, find something that works and don't be afraid to get help if you need it. I've certainly, gotten help figure out what works for me. And so, it's really important to find what for you. And, you know, yeah, because it's debilitating when it can be overwhelming and debilitating if it's not dealt with properly.
What is your career history and roles?
So I have a very eclectic career history. I sold Cutco knives for a number of years, ran an office, interviewed 1,000 people over the course of a summer. It was an amazing learning experience. Soon after that, I culinary school, and then I started a golf club manufacturer. And then after that, I worked at Ira Kaufman for 10 years, while being on the board of Kadima, now Gesher. And now I run a food rescue. And as weirdly different as all the jobs are, all been different, helpful in what I'm doing now. And I would be, I would be much less prepared for what I'm doing if I didn't do each and every one of them, even though none of them relate to food rescue.
What is your education?
I got a bachelor's from Western Michigan in economics, and then I went to Western Culinary Institute in Portland, Oregon.
Is there anyone you would like to thank who helped you create your business?
There are so many people that have helped me to create this. All of our board members, Howard Dems, he was actually the first person that contacted me. The Jewish News did an article, me partnering with his own on the food rescue, and he contacted me and has been really helpful. He's our board chair. All of our other board members, Rabbi Joey Krakoff, Mindy Fink, Lee Schottenfels, and Howard Schwartz have been unbelievably helpful in all sorts of ways. There's tons of other people who have contributed to this. Terry Farber has been amazing as my fundraising consultant. Eli Shear helped me put together a founder circle, which has been endlessly in really growing our fundraising. Our grant writers, Leah Luger and Wendy Rose Bryce, I really could not have grown the fundraising without them. Our staff is unbelievable. Like, they're the best. I send them a list of food to pick up, and it just gets done, and they do it with a smile on their face. And all of our partners, we treat them well, we pay them well, treat us well. It's a great partnership. And I'm probably missing 30 or 40 other people. Jeff Wolf, who has been helping out on our graphic stuff. Yeah, there's so many people who I could not have done this without. And new people keep showing up all the time to help, that we're endlessly grateful for.
Well, I would like to thank you for joining. Hopefully, I can get the word and get some more people to help you with your business. And I cannot wait to see it grow. Thanks for joining and have a great rest of your evening.
Thanks, you too, Max. I really
Welcome.
appreciate it.